Hello, happy paper people. Welcome to the neighborhood. I'm Marianne, and I'm so glad you could join me today. If you're not already a member of our community, we welcome you to our Happy Paper family, where we understand, appreciate, maybe even enable a little bit your love of all things paper. Today, we're talking about scraps. That'll make a nice border. I'm gonna pull that one out. This is a box of primarily strips of all sizes, shapes, but primarily strips. And then there's a few random larger scraps that got stuck in here. But I have another larger bin that is all scraps of all shapes and sizes, and this one's primarily strips. And I want to tell you, if you've been doing the Create an Idea Book with Me videos, then you should be starting to accumulate some scraps of paper. Might be scraps of book pages. I tore off a corner and used it for something. Might be scraps of colored paper. It might be scraps of music paper. Scraps of anything. But what I want to tell you is hang on to your scraps, because we have a lot of videos coming to address what to do with your scraps. And I'm looking for the pile that I just set somewhere. I mean, just literally, well, maybe this is it right here on top. I just stuck it right back in the bin. How's that? Okay, I'm gonna pull a couple of these out. I don't know what we'll use, but that one's got sparkles on it. It's kind of pretty. Okay, make sure we have a variety here to choose from. Alrighty, so today, oh, stop, Marianne. The more I pull, the more I want to make. I look at the paper and I get ideas of things that I can make with them, and mine starts going crazy, and I just can't do everything at once, and I want to do everything right now. So I'm going to move this bin. Not bin, this is just a little box, a 12 by 12 box. I'm gonna move this box right out of the way, and I'm going to show you what we're gonna make today. So you probably watched the video that posted yesterday that told about our new name, our new community, our new collaboration, and all these exciting things that we're gonna do and where we're going and all of that. And one of the things that I told you is that we will have lots of videos, and they will be put in playlists by series. So they'll be real easy for you to find on your YouTube channel here. So one of the series that we will have going is going to be scraps. What do I do with all these scraps? Scraps of all different sizes and shapes. So just so that you know, the first series that we did, Create the Idea Book with Me, we did straight through 1 through 9. Now you've got a good basis for your idea or inspiration book. And now as we go forward, everything we do, you'll be able to always make two. One to put into your idea book, inspiration book, and one that you can use right away. Or, if you're like the rest of us, you're probably making multiples. And also have something coming up to maybe help you with how to store those. Something I just kind of did by accident last week, and it worked. So I'm going to try it, and I'll show you what I did and how I did it. But we're likely going to have multiple series going on at the same time. So this is the first video to start. What do I do with all these scraps? But it won't be the only one. And tomorrow's video may be about something different, which will be in a different playlist because they're different topics. And then the next day might be another video about scraps, and it will be in this playlist. So you'll be able to go here and see all ideas of just what to do with scraps, all ideas of what to do with doilies. Do it with doilies. I can't wait to do that one. Got a lot of fun ideas for that as well. And Sharon's preparing to do videos. I think equipment's arriving, so we'll be able to get her on board doing videos to add to these series as well. We might even throw out a couple little challenges to each other, because, yeah, you know how we are. I think you do already. So here's what we're going to do today. This is just what I call page edges. And that's because I typically just use them on the edge of a page. Okay, so we'll just take one, for example, here. You can see the strip of paper. See, that was the back of a card. That is the back of a piece of a card. A strip of paper, and then other little papers cut out and put on. And then this becomes, do I have a page? Do I have a page up here? Say this stamped off paper was my page, folded in half. It becomes something that I just attach to the edge. And I might leave it where they hang out over the end because we like that interest. It also could become a tab. I might move it in a little farther. I might just paper clip it on. All depends on the journal that I'm working on. I might make it a little bit thicker and attach it there and then let it be a tuck spot because it could hold a bunch of other things. This is a fairly small and fairly thin one. So we put the paper on and then we embellish it. So here's another one, and this is a short one. This one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 6 inches high. I'm working on a couple of journals right now, botanical journals that are about 6 inches tall. So that's exactly the size I would need for that. Here's another one. Hopefully you're getting good view on that. I'm trying to hold it still long enough that it can focus for you. You can see the difference in size, long strips, short strips. I pretty much try to keep them to about 8.5 as the length. Both of these are 8.5 tall. That one might be just a little more, closer to 9. But I typically keep them to about 8.5 because that is about where most of my journals are, is 8.5 tall. Unless it's, you know, a custom journal that I'm specifically doing to fit into a larger book cover. And then I'll do them larger or bigger accordingly. Some of these could even be used as bookmarks. And here's one that has not yet been embellished. Little small one. So for one of the small journals that I might be working on. And you can see how we just put the different elements down. I like having different texture. I like having the burlap and the paper, music paper, book paper, something with different texture on it, which reminds me, I think I've got a little scrap of burlap here that we can pull out and use if it's appropriate. I think it probably will be. What I'm thinking is because I have these two small botanical books, journals that I need to do, that I would make one or two to go with or in those botanical journals this morning. Where did that come from? It's actually evening. Crazy. Okay, so first I want to look through these scraps, and I just grabbed these out because they all seemed kind of earthy, with wood, with flowers, or in the same kind of color scheme, so that they would be neutral or go with botanical type colors. So I've got a book page and a music page. That's good. Ooh, that sparkly gold is really pretty. So I need to decide what I'm going to use first as the actual strip itself that becomes the page edge, and then cut the other pieces to go on it. And I like this. I just saw there's several wood ones, but this wood one has lace at the top and the bottom, like it's a border, and that's really kind of cute. So I think I'll use that as one. And let's see, they need to be 6 inches. Perfect. Probably a 12 by 12 piece of paper that I cut in half and then cut things off of. So I've got a 6-inch scrap there. All these were probably from the same project because they all look the exact same size. What do I want? The other background to be, how about that? That's pretty neutral. Okay, so we'll use those as our, so I don't even have to cut. I get this because I do like to make this one cut straight, and that's, yep, that's 6 inches high as well. That one I like to make straight. So you'll notice on the pieces that we're going to adhere on, sometimes I'll put a stamp edge. Well, that one got 4 with a stamp edge. That's kind of unusual. Sometimes a straight edge. sometimes a piece of lace, sometimes a rounded corner, you know, sometimes frayed edges. So I like that variety on there of different things. So what we're going to do, first we're just going to start making some of those pieces that go on here. Now I kind of feel like these are a little wide as I'm looking at them, and they're 2 inches wide, and really I like about 1.5. Seems to be what I usually like, unless I'm going to put it on the side of a page as a tuck spot. So if this goes, my page, it will only be 6 high, but that actually, if I leave it that wide, it would be a good tuck spot. Okay, what the heck? It's only paper, right? Gonna try it. Okay, so we want to cut some of these out, some with straight edges, some maybe with pinking shears, some maybe with other designs. What have we got here? Like a wave kind of, sort of, and the stamp edge. Get something that we could tear edge with, because I do like that torn edge. And let's see, okay, but if we're gonna have this that wide, 2 inches wide, then that means that these pieces need to be fairly wide as well. So they don't have to be super tall, because these are short, and if we want to be able to fit at least 3, we can do some layering, so maybe 5. But let's do this. Let's start first with just kind of cutting this down and see what we have here. I do like that torn edge, but okay, not so straight. Let's do this. Sometimes these little tiny ones are hard to tell because there's not much to grab on. Not much to grab on at all. Let's see if I can do this. So it gives, it kind of gives us a straighter with a big old corner there. Not really a straighter. All right, I don't know why that's just bugging me. We're not working for me tonight, so let's just give it some waves. How about that? If it doesn't work one way, do it another. If you don't like it one way, do it another. It's, you know, it's your art. Art is never right or wrong, and art is never done until the artist says it's done. And the beauty with paper is that if you put it together and you decide, I'm just really not crazy about that, you just keep layering. You just put stuff on top of it and you just keep layering. It's not done till you say it's done. So we're going to cut a few of these, and then we'll look and see what's going to fit where. Let's see if we get some pinked edges here. Okay, and usually I'll make these up, and then it's got a little bit of glitter in it. That's pretty. I'll make these up, and then I don't, I'd really like to get some of those daisies in there. But, you know, if you cut it like that, you really don't get much in there. So what if we go right up the middle and we make a long one, a couple long ones right there, instead of short one. Okay. Okay. So we got those. And I mean, this uses up the smallest of scraps. And you've seen as we went through those last 9 videos how we took something like this and we turned it right into an envelope with writing space for a journal. So I've heard people say if your scraps are smaller than 6 inches, just get rid of them, just throw them away. And I'm thinking, holy cow, no, because people pay money for 6-inch paper pads. You know, those stacks that come that are 6 inches? People pay money for stacks of cards that are small. You can take small ones like this and turn them into journaling cards, or you could cut this down, you can round the corners, and then you could put a solid color inside of it and then put a an inspirational word on it and use that on all kinds of things. So no, 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 can't throw it away just because it's small. Because as you now know, Sharon's small. Good things come in small packages. I'll tease her about being short because I'm tall. And it's funny how we are so much alike and think alike, and sometimes we text each other the same thing at the same time, and then we just laugh. But we are so different in that I'm tall, very tall, and she's very short. So, but it's funny. Okay, let's, what do we want to do on this? How about, you know what? I'm thinking, here's an idea. What happened to the postage stamp one? Right there. Okay. I don't know how big, so I'm going to cut off a hunk because I can always cut it down. Okay. This gold is really pretty and sparkly. Let's make the other edge the same. Okay, honestly, as I'm cutting this off, I even have ideas of what to do with this little trim. And I will tell you, I am not going to keep that because I have so many scraps of paper to use that that might just be a little too much right now. But I have ideas of what I could do with just those little things. Oh, inspiration is everywhere. Honestly, ideas and inspiration are everywhere. Okay, so my thought on this, and I will need to cut this down, but my thought on this is to put the music paper inside the gold onto one of these. So let's do this. I'm going to cut this right here. So if you don't have any of these scissors, I know right now we can't get out and shop, but when we can, I'm going to tell you that if you just watch thrift shops and like Goodwill, I see these all over. I see them in thrift shops all the time. People who used to use them for scrapbooking and then they stopped scrapbooking, or they've been sitting around for years. I don't know how big we want that to be. And they just donate them. So there are a lot of these out there. Okay, I'm thinking that maybe I ought to adhere that on here first, and then I can cut it down accordingly. So let's do that quickly. I'm going to use art glitter glue because I know it holds paper really well and dries super fast. So which side? I want that side. Okay, so just a little bead of art glitter glue around the edge. Doesn't take much to hold it down. I've been playing with glue today a lot, and Fabri-Tac or Fabri-Fix destroys fingernail polish. if you haven't ever noticed that. Even just clear polish. This is funny. This is magnetic on my watch, and so I'm constantly getting hooked onto things that are on my desk. All right, let's cut that right there. And let's cut this down right here. You know, I should have inked that before I put it down. You don't have to ink it. And I've kind of been trying not to ink everything, but I really like the inked look. I really do. So I keep inking. Not straight, but it's art. It's art and it's mine, and that's okay. Okay, so that'll go on one of them, and then we'll probably embellish with something in the center. All right, so we've got, oh, look at that. We cut out another perfect over there for something. Let's get this back into our glue so we don't end up with a clogged spout there. Okay, so we've got a piece of music paper. Where's that book page? Ooh, this is pretty. Let's use that and that. All right, so the book page, boy, that's kind of flimsy, but what if I tore out a piece that went on something like this. Okay. Okay. I know that wasn't straight, but let's check it here. Okay, that side's a little bigger. Let's check the other side. The other side's pretty good. Okay, so it's just that. And I think it'll do it. Pretty darn close. Close enough, right? Okay, so what if we take this and round this corner? I'm going to use my crocodile corner chomper. One of the previous videos I showed you how to just do this with scissors. I'm just going to do this because it's so quick and easy. It's sitting right here. So I'm going to round those corners. And then maybe I will tear a piece of book page. The Birth of Tragedy. Let's just tear a piece of book page that we can put on there. Okay, a little bit long right there. Okay, and thinking about it ahead of time, I'm going to ink the edges a little bit. I need some more ink. So it's kind of difficult to ink these once it's glued down on that. And this page is so, it's from a really old book, and it's pretty delicate. And I mean, I could put it on directly onto this, but it's going to be bending and flimsy and not hold up for too long. Okay, so how about that right there? Let's do that. A little quick strip of that around the outside. There we go. I like that. I like that. Okay, let's get our glue. Pin back in. Okay. All right, so we've got a couple there. So we used book page, we've used a music page. How about these hearts? That's awfully cute. What if we, what if, not quite a heart, but it's kind of heart-shaped, just doesn't, you know, finish going down. If we go down both sides of that, hearts carved into the wooden fence or the wooden tree. That's just too much wood on wood, so it'd probably go on this one. But it's probably too big anyway, so maybe we just cut off one heart and put one heart there. Or maybe we just go in way closer with those edges. I always leave a little more than I think I'll want. Okay, because I can always cut some off, but I can't glue it back on. So if I think I want it one size, but I really am not sure, I'll leave a little bit more on there. You know, that's kind of bugging me that that's cut off, so I'm going to do this. Just cut that off and use it like that. I think I will like that better. And something wonky about that side right there. Just need to recut that side. There we go. Okay. I didn't like the way the corner thing was sticking out. So, and it's my art, right? So it's not done till I say it's done. Okay. I like that one. It does need something, but remember, we're going to embellish on top of them. So we've got words and numbers and letters and sayings and other things that we can put on. Oh, let's see if we have some burlap in this good old Tupperware canister really thought there's some lace. Really thought there was still a piece of burlap, a little hunk of burlap. There it is, there it is, there it is. Okay, maybe I should leave this up here and see if there's any other pieces of lace that would work really well. There's a nice little piece of fiber that might work with something blue. Let's see. Sorry you can't see in this very well, because if I put it where you can see in it, I can't see in it. It's kind of a blue and green theme, isn't it? That one. That might have something there. Actually, I've got a little scrap of it sitting right there. We'll just pull that out. And there's a little scrap of cut off lace. And what else can we find? I'm going to leave it at that. Let's see what we've got. We've probably got enough to put 2 of these together. Okay. I do like this piece of paper right here, because this is raised velvet, so it's got dimension, it's got texture. I really like that. This one's cool too. That little flower right there would be nice. What else was down here? Did we cut one of these? I think we cut one. Those flowers would, oh wait. This would be pretty. And this one is cool. All right, I'm gonna move some of this up here just out of our way a little bit. There just isn't enough room under the camera for everything. Okay. So many scissors. All right, we can cut that one. What do we do with this one? Pinking shears? I think. Let's try a little strip of that and see how that works. Okay. Yeah, I think that will work. Okay, so let's put the 2 of these together and kind of start positioning things. That would look nice on either of them, but I really like it over here because of the distressed wood that's underneath that. Hi, honey. I am.
Oh, hi.
Won't be long. Okay, I don't like this with this green a lot because the gold and the green are just too close. So I think I like it better with that one. All right, that blue is good there. We cut off this strip of daisies. Now that strip of daisies feels like it needs a background, but that gold may be too dark. It might need something light. Could be like the whitewash fence. Not sure. What do we have? We didn't cut one of these. This actually would be very pretty with this one. That's got some really pretty flowers on it right there, doesn't it? Okay, let's do some pinking shears on this one. Get little pinking bits everywhere on the desk. How big do we want it to be? Okay, let's just see how close that is to being the same width on both sides. That side's just a little wider, just a wee bit. But you know what? I kind of like it. How does that look on the gold? Not bad at all. That could be layered with the gold. You could layer, we could layer, layer. We could do that and that. This one feels like it needs rounded corners. I don't know why. I'm gonna go in all the way. There we go. Okay. Okay, we've got this one. Now, I think if I ink these edges, I'll like them better because right now they just, maybe I feel like they need something behind it because they need a frame. They need a frame. They're just, see what a difference that makes. Let's just do two sides and look at it. I mean, that looked good just by itself, but just that little bit of ink, it just gives it a frame. And everything looks better in a frame than just propped up on your mirror, right? Okay, so that one goes there. Let's see, I don't know how well this gold's gonna take an edge, but maybe we can get in a little bit to that music page right there. There we go. We can at least make that music look old. Like it's been walked on. There we go. Okay. Distress all these as we go, and then it might be easier we place them. They'll feel like they belong somewhere. I'm gonna wrap this up pretty quickly. You know, sometimes when I do this, I'll lay out like a whole desk full of these, and then I just start cutting pieces of stuff. And then I can just go down and see which one will it look best on, and just add it to the one that it looks best on. I find it a little more difficult just doing one or two, because now I'm just trying to find specific things that I like on here. And you could just not look, you know, decide whether it looks good or not. You could just put them on, put anything on, and then it's kind of becomes like a collaged edge. But if I'm doing it for a specific book, I don't know, I like the colors to coordinate, or the I like to make sure that there's texture on all of them. I like to make sure if this is for botanical, then I've got, you know, some places I can stamp botanicals. Speaking of which, we've got a book page and a music page. Man, I didn't really want those both on the same. Maybe that's okay there now that we got a little ink on it. Maybe this goes like this. Okay, and maybe this one goes like this. Got blue over there. And how's that? Is that too much conflict? Does that need a little piece of burlap underneath it? Let's see, I don't really know how big, so we're gonna go like this and see what we get right there. Or make that go out a little bit. How? Nope, fits better over there. That could go over the top. No, that can go under there. All right, now I'm going to pull out an edge there. Little bit, so I'm going to pull out an edge or two, a string or two off that edge, so that I get the frayed edge look. And I think we're good with that. Then we can do a little bit of stamping and embellishing. Okay, so before we do that, I want to ink the base a little bit, because I think with the journal I'm planning to put it in, that the inking will fit, will accentuate, and it's pretty thick. I mean, that's pretty wide for such a small journal. It's only 6 inches high, but I think I will probably attach it to the page and use it as a tuck spot right there, which makes it deep enough to put, you know, any card that'll fit on the page will tuck in there, because it's 2 inches is deep enough to hold anything. Okay, so we've got that. We've got that. We've got that. And we've got this. First thing I'm going to do is adhere this to the burlap, because, and I'm going to use Fabri-Tac. If I'm, I try to use Fabri-Tac or Fabri-Fix or 123 or something that's specifically a fabric glue. If I am using fabric or fiber with anything, either fabric with fabric or fabric with fiber or fabric or fibers with paper. But anytime there is fabric or fibers involved, it will hold much better, much longer, not fall apart in a couple years. I need a page that I can do this on and not worry about glue. Okay, there we go. That works. Okay. All right. So let's start with this one up here. And paper to paper, I think we're just going to use our art glitter glue. All right. How far in are we? Don't want it to stick out too far. I'll let that one be up to here. Okay. See that precise measurement? Put it where I want it, and then say up to here and put my finger there. And then a glue up to my finger. You can't get any easier than that. Okay, there we go. There's the first one. On, that's a pretty big one. Okay, and then this one's gonna go next. Let's see. All right, I think I want to stamp some, maybe this one, echinacea, some botanical on there. And I'm going to do it before I put it down, only because if this burlap goes over it, then it might be difficult to get an even stamp, and it might end up, you know, all skiwampus. I don't like skiwampus. I'd have to do it again. Okay, that works. Perfect. Get that out of the way. Okay, so that will go there. This will go here. And this will go here. Okay, so let's put this one down to here. So we'll run a little bead of our glitter glue around, and we're going to put that on to there. Make sure, yep, all the glue's on the strip. Okay, and let's do the same with this one. We're going to end up putting something here, but it might be an embellishment. Okay, and this one's going to go basically halfway. Okay. Down a little farther. Yeah, right there. That's good. Okay, we're back to fabric, so we're going to go back to Fabri-Tac. Let's see, where do we want that? About from there over. So yeah, it's burlap, so we want to put it down with Fabri-Tac. It does a much better job of adhering. Fabri-Tac is so gooey. I hate it on my fingers because I can't just rub it off or pull it off easily. It's such a mess, but it works so well. That's why we keep using it. Okay, there we go. We'll just pull that one out. Whew, got a little more Fabri-Tac than needed right there. Okay, we'll let that one dry for a second, and let's go over to this one. I really like that. What else have we got here? What else have we got? Oh, what about the heart on the gold? Does the heart work on the gold? Oh, sorry. Heart. I like hearts. I love working with hearts. Hearts always mean good. goodness to me. Okay, will that work? That'll work. All right, let's just stick that one right to the gold. See, it's nice scraps just sitting around because you just grab a scrap and say, hey, that looks like it will blend with that. Awesome. Okay, so we've got that. That's a pretty big one, so that might be a good base for the bottom. And then we've got this. And then what else have we got? We cut some more. I know we did. This one is pretty. We just cut that other piece off of it, but we could use this. We could use this half. Which way does it want to go? I think it wants to go that way. It feels like, does it feel like a piece of lace underneath it? It kind of does, doesn't it? Let's pinking sure that lace. Oh, I want to keep this to 30 minutes because right now, with everybody stuck at home, everybody's online. And it just takes forever for the videos to upload to YouTube. So, trying to keep them to 30 minutes so I can get them uploaded quick enough to get them posted right away for you. Okay, we need a fourth one in there somewhere. What do we need? We have this. Oh, something is not working. How's that? Does that work? I think that might work. Okay, so we're going to start out with Fabri-Tac on this because this is lace. It's fabric. Ew, Fabri-Tac on lace is the worst because it goes right through the lace and all over your fingers. All over your fingers. So, I'm anxious to hear how y'all are liking the Happy Paper People Facebook group. I am loving it. I'm loving getting to know you all. You all are some of the most amazing people in this group. Just amazing. Generous and kind and supportive and willing to share and positive. And if there's one thing that if I have one pet peeve about people, I'm really pretty tolerant because, you know, everybody's different. I guess maybe the only pet peeve that I really do have is negativity because it doesn't, oh, I forgot to ink that. Negativity doesn't benefit anybody. It just really doesn't. And the person who's being negative, if you're being negative because you don't feel good about stuff, it only makes you feel worse. And then it makes everybody else feel worse around you. But I suppose that's the idea because nobody wants to feel that alone, right? But yeah, I'm not crazy about negativity. And this is the most amazing group of positive people that you can imagine. Really, really loving you all. I love your willingness to share, to post your creations, and to know that it's a safe place to share. It's that respect for artistic eye. You know, every artist is different. Every artist's vision is different. We all see things differently. But the one thing that I've always admired, oh, I wonder if it's too late to move that. Yep, it is. See how fast that art glitter glue dries? I wanted it higher and I just didn't realize. Yeah, the one thing all true artists, the one thing I've always admired about true artists is that they always respect the artistic process in others. There is never any judgment or condemnation because your chosen art form is different than theirs. Because they know they want you to feel the same way about theirs. artists are just, they appreciate the process and understand that everybody sees things differently, and we all have different experiences in life, and those experiences are what give us the perspectives that we have. And the beauty of getting a bunch of artists together who are all willing to share is that our perspective opens up and really does grow. You know, got that bubble going. Oh, gotta wipe that off. I don't want that all stuck in there. Yeah, our perspective grows because we now can see things. If we are willing to look at it, we can see something through somebody else's eyes and see their interpretation or their vision. Okay, there we go. That's that. All right, let's just quick grab some embellishments here. I pulled out some words and a few things like that to see. Let's see. Will any of these fit? Beauty, that's a nice one, especially when nature and these flowers. How about that right underneath that rose? That's really pretty. Or, nope, doesn't go there. Goes right underneath that rose. I love it when it tells me right where it wants to go. Right there. That's where it wants to go. Okay, and what else have we got? We've got some metal embellishments here. Oh, look at those little tiny botanicals there. Should have looked at that. Oh, maybe that will go right there in the middle where we didn't have anything. That would have been good on this one. I should have made something tall and thin for that to go on because this is a botanical book. That would have been perfect. That one's too big. Yeah, just barely. Need something going the other direction for this one, or that one would be perfect in a botanical book. Okay. Let's see what else. I'm going to keep that aside and see what else we've got here. Butterflies. There's a black background. Not crazy about the black background. Those are cute. The little jars are cute. What if... Oh, you know what? Maybe one of these metal ones would go right on the book page. No, I feel like that's just a little too big. Maybe the bird, but could put this little jar of love right there. Same one that's got a little bit of green. That looks like a little bit of blue, and the green actually would go. Well, that's pretty sticky. Green actually would go with that base, so that will look pretty cool there. Can you see the word love on the mason jar? That's cool. Okay. And let's see. I think we need a word over here. What do we need? What do we need? We could do something gold because we have that gold there. Not sure that the right words there. How about here? How about so very blessed? Might be a little too long. Adventure. Adventure. It's not. Okay. Let's look at these. Maybe just a little bit larger. Gratitude. That pink I don't think is the right color for that. We could use that butterfly. Or we could do one of these. Let's see. How about... Oh, I got a lot of butterflies. I don't know why I didn't bring any of those over. I really do want one of these. What about that? Is that too... big? Is that too long to go right there? I don't think so. I don't think so. I think that's good. Okay, we do need something right here. How about we need a stamp of something? I've got some little stamps. Where are they? Where is my box of little stamps? There it is. Little tiny ones. Let's see if there's something that would go. A little plant like that. Or that one. We can stamp it a couple of times. Let's try that one. Okay. Now, the question is, do we want that in the brown or the black? I'm gonna say let's try it in the brown, see if it'll be dark enough. Hopefully that'll be dark enough. I'm using Tim Holtz Vintage Photo. If I had time, I'd probably dig out walnut. I think I've got walnut in there somewhere. That would make it a little darker, but here we go. There we go, some botanicals on there. Okay. And then I think I have some little satin roses, just little tiny ones. I think I might put one on here, but I've got to go dig those out of a drawer, so I'm not going to do it right now. So here's the two that we made today, the two book edges that we made today. I hope that gave you some new ideas of what to do with your scraps and got your creative brain moving and coming up with all kinds of other things. Got lots of ideas of what to do with scraps. It's funny, you sit down and make these with scraps and we used so very little. We still have so many scraps to use. So, but we've got lots more ideas coming up. So don't forget about our prize drawing coming up when we hit 250 subscribers. I mean, our double prize drawing. Thanks for joining me today. Be sure to come over to Facebook and post pictures of your version of the page edges. We would love to see them. If you're not already a part of the Facebook group Happy Paper People, do join us because it is a fun group and you're going to learn a lot and you're really going to enjoy yourself and it's going to be a great ride.